I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jeffrey.
Here.
Brubaker.
Here.
Kimmons.
Here.
Kaiser.
Here.
Lucas.
Here. Thank you. Turning attention to the agenda for this evening, are there any corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes from the last meeting and everyone's packets. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This time, I'd like our guests to come forward and we'll have a proclamation. Do this in front of the flag. Proclamation. Whereas healthcare and legal programs like whereas whereas fee for safe housing and survivor, whereas Moberly joined others across the jury nation over stakeholders, other agencies by public is not tolerated. Whereas domestic violence impacts millions of people. Moving on, next on the agenda is a request to hold the 2022 Moberly Homecoming Parade on 9/30/2022. Anyone have any questions about that? Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, request from Jeremy Kitchen to hold the annual 2022 Cowboys for Christmas Parade on November 5th, 2022. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving to public hearing, receipt of bids. Number 5, receipt of bids for 4 level 3 ballistic shields. Anything you want to add, Chief Link? I know you had the comments earlier. All right, thank you. Questions, anyone? Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Receipt is approved. Number 6, receipt of bids for incinerator for the police department. No, we had quite a bit of discussion about that at the work session. Is there any comments or questions for Chief Link? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll move on to the consent agenda. You can see there's 4 items on the consent agenda. Does anyone have objection to any of those items in the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to read the consent agenda?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Motion and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
Resolution number R1333, a resolution accepting the bid of Hardwire LLC for 4 ballistic shields in the total amount of $9,619.76. Resolution R1334, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a professional services agreement to provide consulting services with Retail Strategies LLC. Resolution R1335, a resolution accepting the bid of GEI Works for an incinerator for the Moberly Police Department. And resolution number R1336, a resolution accepting the bid and authorizing the city manager to contract with L&J Development, Inc. for installation of a bill payment kiosk at City Hall.
Thank you. Heard the reading of the resolutions in the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolutions in the consent agenda are approved. So we'll move on to number 11, an ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance adopting the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the rezoning application of Alex Meyer and Stephen Elder. Asked to be read twice for consideration by title only.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance adopting the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the rezoning application of Alex Meyer and Stephen Elder for property located at 1507 and 1535 Huntsville Road.
All right, you've heard the first reading of the ordinance. Any questions? Hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance adopting the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the rezoning application of Alex Meyer and Stephen Elder for property located at 1507 and 1535 Huntsville Road.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Ordinance is passed, which brings us to number 12, an ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance repealing section 18-60 of the city code in lieu of thereof adopting a new section 18-60, 2021 International Fire Code. Ask for this to be read for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance repealing section 18-60 of the city code and in lieu thereof adopting a new section 18-60, 2021 International Fire Code.
All right, you've heard the first reading of the ordinance. Is there any questions? Anything you want to add, Mr. Sanders? No Cliff Notes versions? All right. Hearing none. Second reading.
An ordinance repealing section 18-60 of the city code and in lieu thereof adopting a new section 18-60, 2021 International Fire Code.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. The ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 13, an ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance repealing ordinances 8850 and 9157, lieu thereof adopting new ordinance to incorporate international codes by reference in the city. I ask the vice for consideration.
All right. You've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance repealing ordinances 8850 and 9157, and in lieu thereof, adopting a new ordinance to incorporate international codes by reference into the city code.
All right. You've heard the first reading. Any questions? Hearing none. Second reading.
An ordinance repealing ordinances 8850 and 9157, and in lieu thereof, adopting a new ordinance to incorporate international codes by reference into the city code.
All right. You've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion? Motion for approval.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
Okay. The motion carries and the ordinance is passed. Which brings us to number 14, an ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance authorizing a cooperative agreement for infill development with Johnston Builders LLC. Ask it to be read twice for consideration of passage.
All right. You've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance authorizing a cooperative agreement for infill development with Johnston Builders LLC.
All right. You've heard the first reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing a cooperative agreement for infill development with Johnston Builders LLC.
All right. You heard the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. The ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 15, an ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance approving a cooperative agreement with Joseph W. and Lisa M. Wasowicz, and asked to be read twice for consideration by title only.
All right. There's a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement with Joseph W. and Lisa M. Wasowicz and accepting easements for the Urbandale Pillars.
All right. You've heard the first reading of the ordinance. Any questions? Hearing none. Second reading.
An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement with Joseph W. and Lisa M. Wasowicz and accepting easements for the Urbandale Pillars.
All right. You've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yeah.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. The ordinance is passed. So we'll move on to number 16, a resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the proposal from WSKF Incorporated to perform preliminary design work on a proposed fire station and remodeling of Fire Station Number 1. Ask for it to be read for consideration.
All right. You've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting the proposal from WSKF Incorporated to perform preliminary design work on a proposed fire station and remodeling of Fire Station Number 1.
All right. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there a motion for approval?
Mr. Mayor, I motion to approve the resolution.
I'll second it.
All right. If there's a motion and a second, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to number 17, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution of the City of Moberly, Missouri, accepting a Federal Emergency Management Agency grant award, the purchase of turnout gear ensembles for Moberly Fire Department, and authorizing the city manager to execute a subward agreement. Asked to be read once for consideration of passage.
All right. Heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution of the City of Moberly, Missouri, accepting a Federal Emergency Management Agency grant award for the purchase of turnout gear ensembles for the Moberly Fire Department and authorizing the city manager to execute a sub-award agreement.
All right. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Moving on to number 18, a resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the permanent sewer easements from various owners from the Route JJ Regional Sewer Project. I ask it to be read once for consideration.
All right. You've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting permanent sewer easements from various owners for the Route JJ Regional Sewer Project.
All right. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is passed. Moving on to number 19, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution authorizing and accepting a change order to the agreement with Safe Slide Restoration. Asked to be read for consideration.
All right. The motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution authorizing and accepting a change order to the agreement with Safe Slide Restoration for flume repair.
All right. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and the resolution passes. So we'll move on to number 20, a resolution appropriating money out of the city treasury.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution appropriating money out of the treasury of the city of Moberly, Missouri in the amount of $655,586.08. Ask for it to be read for approval.
I've got it.
Okay. So there's a motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution appropriating money out of the treasury of the city of Moberly, Missouri in the amount of $655,586.08.
I hereby certify that there's sufficient money standing to the credit of the city of Moberly, Missouri, unappropriated in the several funds covered by this resolution to meet the requirements of this resolution. Submitted, Gregory L. Hodge, City Treasurer. Any further discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, we move to official reports, which will bring up department head monthly reports. Does anyone have a question or multiple questions in regards to any of the department head reports?
I have one question.
Mr. Kaiser.
Greg, when we did our budget, what percentage of increase did we budget for in our budget? Was it 5% growth? I'm just trying to remember.
It always varies line by line, so I don't try to apply anything overall for it. So it
Well, I
just,
know last year we did like 5% is what we had factored according to Brian. I was just curious if we remember. Because
No.
otherwise, I'm glad to see the growth. I was just seeing if we were on target or not.
no,
So
we're definitely over budget so far, so we're
great.
good.
That's what I want to hear.
Mr. Lucas.
I'd just like to make a comment. I know that the ladies from the Chamber and Tourism are not here, but this was just great to see everybody downtown this weekend. As you drove around, there wasn't hardly a place to park. There were just people everywhere. It was great to see, and I've talked to many vendors. Not all of them, but many vendors, and a lot of them had record sales for the weekend for the event. So I think the event accomplished what it was set out to do. So a job well done for everybody involved in that. I know there's a lot of hands that kind of have a piece of that. So thank you guys. That was a really great event.
All right. Further monthly department head reports. Mr. Hodge, if I read that, going back to what Mr. Kaiser said, in the last month, the sales tax was actually down from year over year, which put us at, for the year, of up 4% Is that correct? Am I reading that right?
Yes, yeah, they're running that from 4 to 4.5% above last
So
year.
if we based our budget on 5 or 6 or 8% sales tax growth, we would be behind, would we not?
Well, yeah, that's true, but again, I don't budget that way.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was reading it, because sometimes, well, looking at those bar graphs, they're easier than they were. But anyway, so you go back to, you're looking at September, but September is really what's come in August or July, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Mr. Kimmons?
Mr. Bach, I saw your report, a short discussion on splash pad, and it was satisfying to see that it's doing exactly what it's bringing young families downtown, eating downtown, and then enjoying the splash pad. I think that's well.
Absolutely, especially prior to the beginning of the school year. Slowed down after the school year started. You saw more occasionally in the evening, but especially on weekends. But yeah, there was, when the weather was good before school started, there was rarely a time you could drive by and there weren't people.
It's great.
Mr. Mayor, I actually had one more, if you don't mind. Tom, on the wayfinding signage, I know you brought up the point with those folks that, hey, we need to at least have one face-to-face meeting. Is that not something they would need to be here more for, to make those recommendations? I mean, being that wayfinding is what it is, I would think they would want to see more of the product.
Well, I think it was kind of a negotiation. If you recall, the original proposal was for about double where we're at right now. And so negotiating that down, that was some of the things that had to get trimmed back, get the budget down to where it's at now. So they were really trying to press for, even the last one was a Zoom meeting, but I felt like we'll have multiple meetings, but it to be at least, I think, one face-to-face interview where all of our stakeholders have that chance, maybe do a hearing or just, being able to interact with that person.
Are you comfortable with being able to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish without those visits?
I think this company is capable of doing it without any interaction, but it's just,
Okay.
They've done it in a lot of cities. So it's basically having an understanding of really what the goal is for us to communicate and all the stakeholders to communicate what we want to identify. And I think they'll be able to, maybe we already have like sign format and what we want to see established. So
makes sense. Thanks.
Good. Okay. Anyone else?
I had just one question.
Mr. Brubeck.
I was looking at the fire department report. Chief, I noticed we had one structure fire on this report, and I was trying to, it's probably just me, but I was trying to locate within the report the address of that structure fire. Oh, it's not in there? Okay. I guess that's why I couldn't find it. Okay, thank you.
All right. So there are not any further questions. We will move on from department and monthly reports. Next item on the agenda is the proposal from the Tourism Advisory Commission. Is there anybody who wants to speak to that? Anyone supposed to speak to that? I think the head of the committee's here, or the council. That would be you, yeah? Okay. So I know it's in our packets on the recommendation for $1,000 to the Tourism Commission for the school district marketing scoreboard, right? Does anyone have any recollection of the rules with that as far as doing more than 1 year? I don't recall us. Right. Okay. I guess my question is, I don't recall the Tourism Commission doing multi-year commitments. They do one for each budget year, and this is asking for 5 years. I see. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? I guess on everything else, we're looking at numbers, where we're looking at impact on our tourism. And so I would assume that since this is new, then you're not going to have anything but an estimate. But if it's going to go 5 years, then there ought to be something next year that we're going to hear about. I don't know. Otherwise, how are we going to gauge it, whether it's effective or not?
Joe, I guess. Have some rapid things.
Yeah.
Where they went, right?
But you think it falls under the definition of what the tourism fund is supposed to do? Mr. Kimmons, I know you're on that.
Well, I think you got a $35.
With no numbers, imagine that.
I
All right.
just bring that up.
Yeah, okay. I'm just asking questions. So anyway, anyone else have any questions about it? All right. So is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So that's all we have on the agenda. Is there anything else come in front of the council? Anyone need to address council? All right. Hearing none, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn to work session followed by closed session. Is there a motion to that effect?
Move.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all for coming. We're adjourned from regular session. Moving to the work session. That agenda number 1 on the agenda is consideration of an appointment to the electrical board. Okay. Do you have any comments on that? Questions? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right. That name will move forward. And we'll move to appointment to the Fire Prevention Board. Chief, anything you want to add there, or would have that? Okay. I think that's a name that's been on there. Certain, been a Moberly firefighter. So,
May I ask a question?
Mr. Kaiser.
Real quick 30 seconds. What does the fire prevention board do? Sorry to make you get up, but I've never heard of this board. That's why I was curious what it is.
I'm not sure.
Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
It's on. It was.
There you go. Like I said, I'm not sure I can give you a really good answer. Since I've been here, I've been another member.
Okay.
We've never had a meeting. The understanding I got is if there was something come up that would affect any kind of major issue within the city that would affect the fire department directly, then we would call the board together to discuss that issue. That's pretty much all I know.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Chief. All right. So, any further discussion of the candidate? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, then that will move forward to the next regular meeting. We'll move on to the MACC ball field improvements. Do you have that one, Mr. Sander, or are we on our own?
Bach.
Oh, I'm
So we-
sorry. Yeah, Mr. Bach.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we have two bids, as you've seen the packet, fairly close. The low bid is essentially what staff did is put forward the preference of MACC. It's a contractor they've worked with. I know MACC is comfortable with them meeting a tight timeline, and this is a tight timeline to get it done before February. And they're the low bid. Of course, on the flip side, there's the buy local provision. So there was a late communication in the day that MACC wouldn't object to the local bidder being selected if essentially the city or our department would cover that difference. We do have a park board meeting tomorrow night, and we could so between the park board tomorrow night and verifying with the other contractor that they can meet the timeline, we could review that, reconsider that this week. But right now, what we did put forward is the preference of MACC, just because it's already $200,000 over their budget. And so they prefer the low bidder that they've already got mobilized in town. Bly can mobilize late this month.
All right. Questions, anyone? Comments?
I'm curious what the park board would say tomorrow night about that option, but I have no problem with it.
Well, that's what we're here to do. So we'll move it forward. If no one else has any objection, that will move forward, that recommendation, to the next meeting. So next we have a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Express Bill Pay.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council. This agreement would be for basically all of our electronic processing of our day-to-day transactions. We already have, well, currently we work through Forte payment systems, so this would be moving from them to Express Bill Pay at the time that we bring the Cassell software online. This company also has the ability to do bill presentment and offer basically like a couple of click payment methods, so you see on a lot more sophisticated processors that you might have used yourselves. So this will get us where we've been wanting to get for a number of years.
Okay. Excuse me. Questions, anyone?
I got a question.
Mr. Brubaker.
Curious on how they charge us on this. Is this based upon the number of, as far as usage, or?
Yes. Yeah. So there are some. It's a combination. There's some base fees in there, and of course, with all the credit card transactions and all those type of things, that's a per transaction fee on all those. So our cost will go up a little bit, but we're offering more in the way of services to our customers with that additional cash outlay.
Okay.
So is this I'm sorry,
Mr. Geiser, go ahead.
Is this a replacement for our current e-commerce piece on the website, or is this more of the back end on the website?
Let's see. There's not. It's kind of difficult. So the whole schema will change. So instead of having one company doing one piece and another company doing another piece and a
Little
third
bit.
company doing a third piece. It's all going to be wrapped up into one package. Some additional things that we'll get, and there'll be some other agreements that will be presented at the next council meeting for approval in addition to this express bill pay. But that will get us the ability to do like online banking where people pay their bills. We actually receive paper checks on those throughout the month. They get kind of interesting trying to figure out who's paying what bill and all that. So we're going to be contracting with there's 4 major companies that do this processing. We're going to be contracting with them and Express Bill Pay to basically grab those, convert those to electronic payments, and then also present that and that into the software. So it's basically all an automated process.
Question.
Mr. Brubaker.
Will you continue to offer the automatic debit
Yes.
for customers also?
Yes, it seems to be growing in popularity. So out of our approximately 5,000 customers, we now have, at the last count, about 1,100. So it's grown quite a bit here just over the past year.
That's good. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay. Does anyone oppose to moving that forward to the next meeting? Hearing no opposition, that will move forward. That is the end of the agenda for the work session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.